Welcome back, everyone, to the Bears Profit Plays YouTube channel. Today is Friday, June 21st, 2024, and we have made it, or almost made it, I guess, to another weekend. I'm coming back with 6 more plays I'm going to be breaking down in this video. We're going to be taking a look at the Mariners going up against the Miami Marlins. We're also going to be looking at the Boston Red Sox going up against the Cincinnati Reds in what should be a fun series to watch. 3 more best bets, 3 more graphic plays to give out. And if you would, please drop a like in this video, subscribe to the channel below before I deliver to you this 6-0 day on a Friday slate. All right, guys, let's break down some ball. All right, guys, let's take a look at this leaderboard from Thursday. These are the Thursday afternoon/night plays that we had. Already 2-0 day on the best bets. The Dodgers, they just closed it out against the Rockies, winning 5-3. Got a little bit dicey. The Dodgers were up 5-0. I was feeling pretty good about it, and the Rockies scored 3 out of nowhere. So glad they finished it off there. MJ Melendez, first at-bat, double. Second at-bat, double. Third at-bat, walk. So he absolutely crushed this over 1.5. I did take a loss with the Yankees -0.5 on the first 5 for the graphic play. It is in the 5th inning, but I'm realistic here. They're down 11-3, so there's no way that they're winning on the first 5 unless Aaron Judge is up 9 times in a row and hits 9 home runs. Anthony Volpe, he did cash over 1.5 bases in that game already. And then Andy Pages, first at-bat going up against the Rockies, ripped the double as well. So pretty good day, 4-1 so far. Looking for the 3-0 day on the best bets there with Keaton Winn over 2.5 runs going up against the Cardinals. Let's take a look at the leaderboard because it is updated. 1-0 on the game pick so far, 1-0 on the prop bets. We just need Keaton Winn to come through for that 2-0 prop bets, go 3-0 on the best bets of the day. But let's take a look at the plays for tomorrow. We've got 2 games we're going to be breaking down. We are going to start with the Seattle Mariners going up against the Miami Marlins. And I really don't think you could pay me right now to take the Miami Marlins in any of their games until they show that they're a competitive team. We might be waiting a while for that. So I'm going to take the Mariners here, -0.5 on the first 5 as the play. Miami this season has been one of the worst teams in baseball in nearly every single category, including batting average, runs per game, team ERA, and wins. This should be a tough matchup for them going up against the Mariners because they're going to have to go up against George Kirby on the mound, who's been wheeling and dealing over the last 4 games. He's coming into this game with a 3.54 ERA and nearly a sub-1 whip, and that ERA seems a little bit high with the way he's been pitching over the last 4 games. He has been able to go 5+ innings in 4 consecutive games, giving up a total of 4 runs over these 4 games, and he's faced off against the Astros, the Royals, the Rangers, and the Oakland Athletics, so some pretty good teams there, and in all of those games, the biggest takeaway I had was he didn't allow a home run. If you don't give up a home run as a starting pitcher, you're living life great because you have to be extremely bad to give up more than 2 runs if you don't give up any home runs. In his last game against the Rangers, he went 6 innings. He did not allow any earned runs. His team made a mistake in the outfield to cost him a run, but he only allowed 3 total hits in that game, striking out 6. I'm looking at for the same outcome in this game going up against the Marlins. And again, they're bottom tier in nearly every category this season in baseball. The Miami Marlins are. We're also getting Trevor Rogers on the mound for the Marlins, who has been one of the worst arms in the rotation all season long. He has been decent in 3 of the last 4 games that we've seen, but I've also seen this guy give up 8 runs, giving up double-digit hits in some of his games. He's coming in with 5.09 ERA, and he has given up a home run in 4 consecutive. And he's also been walking a lot of people this season, coming in with a 1.62 whip. Mistakes like walking batters or making a mistake pitch over the middle of the plate, causing home runs is what Trevor Rogers does nearly every single game. The Mariners also, despite their struggle scoring this season, they're actually scored 5+ runs in 3 of the last 5 games. So I do think we're going to see some run production in this one out of the Mariners. So I'm going to take them on the first 5 innings with George Kirby on the mound. -0.5 here as the play. For the player props on the screen, I'm not going to be playing Josh Bell because, again, I think George Kirby is going to shut down the Miami Marlins squad. I will, however, take J.P. Crawford to go over 1.5 bases going up against Trevor Rogers. This is going to be a different kind of play because usually I like to take the left against the right matchup. And this game, we've got 2 lefties going head-to-head. Trevor Rogers, it doesn't really matter for him because he's been bad on both sides of the plate, giving up at least a 280 batting average to both sides this season. But I like this play because J.P. Crawford against lefties, he's hitting 305, and on the season, he's only hitting 206. So sometimes players are just wired different like that because typically we see left-handed batters be more successful against righties or right-handed batters be more successful against lefties. But J.P. Crawford this season has 18 hits of his 40 against lefties, and he's only had 59 at-bats compared to 136 on the right side. I love him in this game going up against Trevor Rogers, so I'm going to take him over 1.5 bases as the play there. Let's go over now to the best play of the day. We're going to be looking at the Boston Red Sox going up against the Cincinnati Reds. I'm pretty excited about this series. This is going to be the first game of the series. We're getting a pretty good pitching match between the 2 teams. We're going to have Cutter Crawford on the mound for the Red Sox, Andrew Abbott on the mound for the Reds, And with the good pitching we have in this game, I'm going to take the under as the play. The first 5 under of 4.5 runs as the play. The reason I'm going with the first 5, it's not because I don't trust the bullpens in this game. It's because I don't trust the management of the Boston Red Sox. This organization, they've had back-to-back games against the Blue Jays where they allow the starting pitcher to go over 100 pitches. And now I typically don't have a problem with that unless I have the under 2.5 runs, which I did in both of these occasions. And against the Blue Jays especially, they were up 7-2, I think it was. I'm almost positive it was 7-2. And then they let Nick Pivetta throw 110 pitches, and on the 109th, he gave up a solo shot. He was already getting beaten up in that game as well. He gave up 9 hits, and that solo shot put him over 2.5 runs. One time I can understand that, but they did it the very next game with one of my best plays of the day as well with Tanner Hoke. He should have been pulled after 5 innings. You could tell he just didn't have enough left in the tank to go back out there. He went over 100 pitches, 103, and luckily for us, it was an error on the play earlier, or else it would have been another over 2.5 runs as well in that game. And again, sometimes I feel like it's okay to leave a guy out there over 100 pitches. If you can tell he's still got his stuff or he has a no-hitter, I'm fine with that. But that's back-to-back games now that the Boston Red Sox gave up a few runs because of just poor management. So I'm going to stay with the first 5 here under 4.5. We are going to have Cutter Crawford on the mound, who has struggled recently, coming in, giving up 3+ runs in 4 of his last 5 games. This is a guy who had under 1 ERA in the first 5 starts of the season, and now he's sitting at a 3.54. So he definitely has been struggling lately. But you can take a look at the teams he's been going up against, and you can clearly tell there's a reason why he's struggling. In order, he has faced off against the Brewers, the Orioles, the Braves, the Phillies, and then the Yankees. Those are 3 of the best 5 teams hitting this season. We should see him calm down in this game, especially going up against the Reds, who have been struggling lately to put up runs. They've only scored a total of 3 runs against the Pittsburgh Pirates in that 3-game series. And so I do think they're going to struggle in this one again, going up against Cutter Crawford. On the other side is going to be Andrew Abbott. And just like Cutter Crawford, he's been struggling a little bit over the last couple of games. He's given up 3+ runs in 3 of his last 4 starts. He's also coming in with a around 3 ERA, a 3.42 ERA, and he's been very good this season of giving just 5 innings for the Reds consistently, going 9 consecutive games, giving 5+. And he's also been pretty good this season at limiting the damage, giving up under 2 runs in 5 of the last 8 games as well. I think if we were to see some danger in this game, especially offensively early in the game, it will come from the Boston Red Sox bats. But I think these guys have been reliable enough this season for me to trust them to go under the total here in the first 5. I'm going to take the under 4.5 runs here as the best play of the day. For the player props on the screen, we are not going to play Spencer Steer because, again, I think we're going to see damage from the Boston Red Sox side if we see any damage at all. I am going to play Jarren Duran here over 1.5 bases going up against the Reds. He's been excellent for the Boston Red Sox this season, leading off for them in most of their games. He's coming in with a 277 batting average. He's collected at least 1 hit in 10 consecutive games. And not only is he collecting 1 hit per game, he's collected double-digit hits in 5 of the last 8 games for the Red Sox. This is going to be another left-on-left matchup. And Andrew this season, surprisingly enough, has been worse against lefties this year. He's giving up a batting average of 250 compared to 225 against righties. And during the season, he collected 22 hits against lefties as well this year. So I love him in this game. I like him to get a couple singles going up against Andrew. So I'm going to take him over 1.5 bases as the play on that one. Let's go over to the player props, best player props of the day. And as always, we're going to start with the batting prop. I'm going to look at the Baltimore Orioles, who have easily been scoring runs over the last several games. We're going to start with Adley Rutschman over 1.5 bases going up against the Astros. And did you really think I was going to let Justin Verlander off the hook because it's a Friday? Justin Verlander, he escaped us last week because they pulled him with the next train. Now he's going to be back going up against the Orioles, who have been one of the best hitting teams in the MLB this year. Justin Verlander, again, he's coming off of that neck injury, and he's projected to start this game. So I'm hoping he does start in this one. On the season, he's coming in with a 3.95 ERA, but he's allowed 7+ hits in 3 of the last 4 games. He's just getting beaten up out there at his old age. Some people call that elder abuse, sitting at the age of 41 as a major league pitcher. And just to be clear, that's a major league pitcher. That's not for the everyday person. 41 years old. In the real world, that's the sweet spot if you ask me. But Verlander, he's been getting beaten up over the last few games, and he's going to have to go up against a switch hitter who's batting .288 with 14 home runs this year, and he's been good on both sides of the plate. There's no escaping him. I'm assuming he's going to line up on the left side in this game is what I'm thinking. He would get the advantage of a left against right matchup if he does do that. But either way, I do think Adley's going to get the best of Justin Verlander this one. I'm going to take him over 1.5 bases as the play there. For the pitching prop, this one we should cash very easily. Jack Flaherty, under 2.5 runs going up against the Chicago White Sox. I had to look this number up because I wanted to make sure that the White Sox were still the worst team in baseball. They definitely are still the worst team in baseball. They're hitting .219 on the season. That's dead last. They're scoring 3.09 runs per game. That's dead last as well by nearly 0.5 runs per game. And to top it all off, they have the worst record in baseball. So there's no doubt the White Sox are the worst team in baseball. They're getting a matchup going up against Jack Flaherty, who's been very good for the Tigers this season. This play, it honestly might come out at under 1.5 runs, and I'm perfectly fine with playing that as well. Jack, over the last 3 games against the Astros, Rangers, and Red Sox, has given up a combined 6 total hits and no runs, going 16 2/3 innings. He is in a different world right now whenever he's on the mound because nobody can touch this guy, especially since the start of June. His ERA was sitting at 4.91 at the end of April, and he's worked that down nearly under 3. It's sitting at 3.01. He has been able to work his whip down under 1 as well, sitting at 0.95. He is pitching with a lot of confidence right now, and the great thing about him is that the Detroit Tigers aren't pushing him to go deeper in these games. He was pulled against the Astros and the Rangers after 5 innings, and in those games, he hardly had any base runners, and the Tigers still pulled him at the correct time. I'd like him to go another 5 innings, maybe 6 innings in this game against the White Sox, giving up no runs in the process. Once again, give me Jack Flaherty under 2.5 runs, probably maybe under 1.5 runs as the best pitching prop of the day. All right, let's go over to the recap graphic here. We are going to play the Mariners first 5 -1/2 going up against Trevor Rogers and the Miami Marlins. Then we have J.P. Crawford over 1.5 bases getting that matchup against Trevor Rogers as well. And then Jarren Duran over 1.5 bases going up against the Cincinnati Reds and Andrew Abbott. Best play of the day. We've got the under 4.5 runs between the Red Sox and the Rays. I like the pitching matchup in that one, even though the guys have been struggling coming in. We've got Jack Flaherty under 2.5 runs. That might be under 1.5 runs going up against the Chicago White Sox. We're going to have to see where that line comes out at. And then Adley Rutschman going up against the old man, Justin Verlander, over 1.5 bases in that game. Guys, that's going to do it for the MLB picks and props for Friday, June 21st slate of games. If you guys enjoyed the content, please sure to drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel below. See you guys next video, and thanks for watching.